Bienvenue. Welcome to Coffee Talk with King Francois I, where we will discover the tales, trials, and talents of Renaissance Festival performers, merchants, and die-hard attendees as we journey by way of light-hearted and even at times heartwarming conversations about the Renaissance Festival world. I am your host, Theodore Jander, aka King Francois I. Bonjour. Welcome to Coffee Talk with King Francois I. I am your host, Theodore Jander. In this episode, 2024's Festivals Installment 2, I will be highlighting the upcoming 2024 Renaissance Festivals here in the US, Canada, and overseas, with their names and upcoming April, May, and June dates. But first, a word from this episode's sponsor, Mid-America Festivals, with one of their upcoming events, the St. Louis Kegs and Eggs. Have a hopping good time at the largest adult egg hunt in the St. Louis area. Thousands of dollars of cash and prizes and 15,000 eggs are up for grabs. Come meet Bud Bunny and enjoy samplings of locally crafted beers, spirits, and even non-alcoholic drinks, live entertainment by Threshold, food trucks, a live DJ, and exciting games and contests aplenty. Everyone receives a t-shirt, tote bag, and sample glass with their ticket. You can even bring your dog to join the fun with their very own egg hunt and contests. Join us Saturday, April 13th, 2024, on the grounds of the St. Louis Renaissance Festival in Wentzville, Missouri. The pre-party begins at 11 a.m. with the egg hunt at 1 p.m. Various tickets are available at stlrenfest.com. Thank you to Mid-America Festivals for their sponsorship of this episode and for making the following excellent offer available to you, my listeners. To receive a Kegs and Eggs designated driver ticket valued at $35, be one of the first 10 listeners to sign up for a 7-day free trial of the Cafe Latte's Noble Recognition tier on the Coffee Talk with King Francois I podcast Patreon page. The link to sign up is included in the show notes along with the aforementioned event information. Before we begin our festival excursion, here is a short coffee-related joke. A man fell into a vat of coffee and died. The police told his wife, in an attempt to console her, "At least he didn't suffer. It was instant." So grab a cup of your favorite brew, sit back, and enjoy this episode of Coffee Talk with King Francois I. And now on to 2024's Festivals Installment 2. As was done for the show notes of similar previous episodes, I am including the website addresses and full run dates for the mentioned festivals. Let's begin. First up, the festivals beginning the second weekend of April, as I did highlight the fairs that opened the first weekend of April in episode 33. We head to Ocean City, Maryland to visit Ocean Renaissance, which opens and runs this weekend only, April 12th through 14th. From the East Coast, we travel to Mid-America, specifically Fordland, Missouri, for the Lost Spanish Treasure Hunt and Fair, which takes place amidst the setting of a real castle, the Chateau Charmant Castle. This event is open April 12th and 13th. Stablecraft, in partnership with the Society for Creative Anachronism, the SCA, hosts our next option on April 13th, the Burrichin Brown Renaissance Festival in Waynesboro, Virginia. Next up in Ames, Iowa is the first of several inaugural festivals this year, the Ames Renaissance Fair, opening for one weekend only, April 13th and 14th. The following two fairs are also open for one weekend only, April 13th and 14th. On the East Coast, our journey takes us to Kinston, North Carolina for the third annual Eastern North Carolina Renaissance Fair. Or, if you fancy a trip to the other side of the world and the Southern Hemisphere, we can pack our bags for the Fantasy Medieval Fair in Mount Gambier, South Australia. Drawing us to Visalia, California, the Tulare County Renaissance Festival opens for the weekends of April 13th through 14th and April 20th and 21st. Fairborn, Georgia is our next destination for the Georgia Renaissance Festival. From April 13th through June 2nd, you can take a step back in time to the village of Newcastle. The ensuing two fairs are open for one weekend only, April 12th and 21st. We head a little north to Fairfield, Iowa for the second annual Fairfield Renaissance Fair. Or, just a small hop south, we can join in the return of the Great Plains Renaissance Festival in Wichita, Kansas. Back to California we go for the Escondido Renaissance Fair located in Escondido, California for the weekends of April 20th through May 5th. If you happen to be in Price, Utah the weekend of April 26th and 27th, you can attend the third annual Price City Renaissance Festival. One can experience a wonderful world of knights, merchants, entertainment, and the like at the one weekend only Festival of Legends in Apex, North Carolina on April 27th and 28th. Or that same weekend of April 27th and 28th, one can be immersed in the fun and frivolity of the inaugural Wyndhamshire Renaissance Fair in Winchendon, Massachusetts. The Midwest, Kingdom City, Missouri to be exact, is our next stop for the Central Missouri Renaissance Festival, April 27th through May 5th. Here you can enjoy the sights and sounds of the Irish village of 1550 Carlingford. A little further east, we can make a stop at Birdsell Castle for the Southern Indiana Renaissance Fair in Charlestown, Indiana. This festival is held on the weekends from April 27th through May 26th. The village of Castleton in 1569 England keeps us in the Midwest for the Oklahoma Renaissance Festival located in Muskogee, Oklahoma, opening April 27th and running through June 2nd. To start off the festivals beginning in May, we head north to L'Assomption, Quebec, Canada, for the one weekend only Montreal Medieval Fair, May 3rd through May 5th. The next two events are one day only, and that day being May 4th. First is the Livonia Renaissance Festival located in Livonia, Georgia. Second, we pull on our bootstraps making our way to Pipe Creek, Texas for the Ren Faire of Bandera County. To note, this festival is the first of a few fairs in this listing to offer free admission. May 4th and 5th provide the following three one-weekend-only festivals. First, we travel to Carnation, Washington, stepping back in time to 1376 Somersetshire, England, for the Camlann, a festival for May. Our second option takes us east across the Atlantic and well north to Vincennes, Netherlands, for the Koroneburg Medieval Festival. And thirdly, we return stateside for the inaugural Enchanted Orchard Renaissance Fair in Phillipston, Massachusetts. Pulling on our leather boots, we travel north to Papillon, Nebraska, for the Renaissance Festival of Nebraska, running May 4th through May 19th. Arlington, Tennessee is our next destination for the Tennessee Renaissance Festival, where you can travel back to 16th century England and the village of Covington Glen each weekend from May 4th through May 27th. On Saturday, May 11th, two one-day-only festivals provide some entertaining merriment and mirth. First up is the Brown County Library Renaissance Fair in Howard, Wisconsin. The second option is the Newport Ren Faire in Newport, Washington. The ensuing three festivals are open for one weekend only, May 11th and 12th. To Marshall, Michigan we go for the Royal Stagg Renaissance Fair. This is the second listed free admission festival. A little further south in Greenfield, Iowa, we will find the second annual Travelers Renaissance Village. Or you may journey northwest to Kashmir, Washington for the Two Rivers Medieval Fair. From west to east, we make our way to Fremont, New Hampshire for the New Hampshire Renaissance Fair taking place on the weekends from May 11th through May 19th. Returning west, we step back in time to the village of Hawkhurst, the setting of the Utah Renaissance Festival and Fantasy Fair, running weekends May 11th through 27th in Marriott-Slaterville, Utah. We head to Spotsylvania, Virginia and the village of Staffordshire for the Virginia Renaissance Fair opening May 11th and running through June 9th. For those on the East Coast looking for a one-day option, hop on over to Parkton, Maryland on May 18th for Medieval Day at Royal Rabbit Vineyards. Missouri beckons another visit the weekend of May 18th and 19th for the Bluffwoods Renaissance Festival in St. Joseph, Missouri. Staying in the upper Midwest that same weekend of May 18th and 19th, we could journey to the Fantasy of the Lakes in Lindstrom, Minnesota, or to the Janesville Renaissance Fair in Janesville, Wisconsin, or to the Niles Renaissance Fair in Niles, Michigan. Up next is our third listed free admission festival, the one weekend only Mayfair on the Green in Holland Patent, New York, also May 18th and 19th. With weekend dates of May 18th through June 9th, we can step back in time to 1570 New Crossford, England for the New Jersey Renaissance Fair in Columbus, New Jersey. We venture to Call, Texas for the Southeast Texas Renaissance Fair, occurring weekends May 18th through June 16th. Their opening weekend theme is Come One, Come All. Much like an ongoing theme that I have encountered and that really has become solidified about Renaissance festivals, that theme of Come One, Come All is super welcoming, and that welcoming component is such an integral part of Renaissance festivals. With that welcoming atmosphere and the want of an opportunity to meet Robin Hood and his merry band in the village of Nottingham, look no further than Robin Hood's Medieval Fair in Harwinton, Connecticut, which opens the weekend of May 18th and occurs each weekend through June 30th. On May 25th, the one-day only Open Fields Medieval Festival returns to Thetford, Vermont as the sights and sounds of a medieval village spring to life. Held in Leonardtown, Maryland, and the town's very own Brudergarten Beer Garden, the inaugural Ren Fest Southern Maryland takes place for one day only on May 25th. Back to the golden state of California we jet for the one weekend only Shasta Renaissance and Fantasy Fair in Anderson, California on May 25th and 26th. Remaining on the West Coast, but a little further north in Langley, Washington, we can take in the merriment of the inaugural Whitby Ren Faire, also occurring for one weekend only, May 25th and 26th. Returning this year for a 3-day run, May 25th through 27th, and relaunched with the newly monikered Philly Fair, the Philly Fair, the Philadelphia Renaissance Fair, takes place in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, on the grounds of the historic Fort Mifflin. We make our way back to Iowa and the city of Middle Amana for the Iowa Renaissance Festival, which opens May 25th and goes through June 2nd. Regent, North Dakota is our next destination as we travel down the Enchanted Highway to the North Dakota Renaissance Festival, occurring weekends May 25th through June 16th. If you happen to be a bit further north, May 31st through June 1st, like say in Elmira, Ontario, Canada, you can venture back to 12th century Nottingham, England, and the Robin in the Hood Medieval Festival. Our final May Fair is the Koroneburg Renaissance Festival in Corona, California, occurring on the weekends from May 25th through June 23rd. I will say that this Renaissance Fair is one of a few, if not the only festival set in a 16th century German village. We heat things up to start off June with Fire in the Shire in Alma, Wisconsin on June 1st. The following 3 festivals occur for one weekend only, June 1st and 2nd. Travel to Red Lodge, Montana for the Montana Renaissance Festival, where you will be transported back in time to a 16th century European country festival. Or venture to the Siouxland Renaissance Festival in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, where you can visit the 1575 village of Shrewsbury, England. And thirdly, an excursion to Mariposa, California for the inaugural Yosemite Chivalry and Fantasy Festival offers a delightful weekend of history, fantasy, and merriment. Up next, we make our way to Lake Orion, Michigan for the Canterbury Village Medieval Fair, which runs June 1st through June 9th. A side note, up through 2022, this festival was known as the Michigan Medieval Fair. If you thought the previously mentioned Ren Fair in Ontario, Canada was pretty far north, well, the Three Barons Renaissance Fair, which also runs June 1st through June 9th, takes us to Anchorage, Alaska. Returning a bit further south to the upper northwest, we head to Canby, Oregon for the Oregon Renaissance Fair, where you can travel back in time to the Vale of Dunrose. This festival opens June 1st and goes through June 16th. We hop on over to Eminence, Kentucky for the Kentucky Highland Renaissance Festival, running June 1st through July 21st. Loveland, Colorado is our next destination for the one weekend only Colorado Medieval Festival, June 7th through 9th. The subsequent 3 festivals are one weekend only events taking place June 8th and 9th. First up is York Capital District Renaissance Festival in Altamont, New York. Back to the Midwest we go for the Sandpoint Renaissance Fair in Sandpoint, Idaho, or the Silver Sage Renaissance Festival in Garden City, Kansas. Open for 2 weekends, June 8th and 9th, and June 15th and 16th, the Kingdom Fair calls us to Huguenot, New York, where we would have the opportunity to choose the side of either rogues or royalty as part of an epic battle. Beckoned back to Missouri, specifically Hartville, Missouri, we can take in the sights and sounds within the village of Hart Grove for the White Hart Renaissance Fair, weekends June 8th through 23rd. From Midwest to East, we journey to the West Virginia Renaissance Festival and the village of Essex, England, in Lewisburg, West Virginia, with weekend options from June 8th to June 30th. Feeling a little more medieval? If so, join the Kitsap County Local Society of Creative Anachronism, the SCA, for the one-day Kitsap Medieval Fair on June 15th in Bremerton, Washington. Traversing to Lead, South Dakota, you can enjoy the festivities of the Black Hills Renaissance Festival, open June 15th and 16th. Another option that same weekend of June 15th and 16th is the inaugural Rentopia Renaissance Fair in Bentonville, Arkansas. We journey to another long-standing fair. Located in Larkspur, Colorado, the Colorado Renaissance Festival, which opened its gates in 1976, kicks off its 2024 season on June 15th and goes through August 4th. Up next, we sojourn way north, again to Alaska, specifically Valdez, Alaska, the weekend of June 21st through 23rd, for the inaugural End of the Road Ren Faire, another festival with free admission. The weekend of June 22nd and 23rd, we return to Carnation, Washington, once again stepping back in time to 1376 Somersetshire, England. However, this time we will do so for the Camlann Midsummer Festival. If you live on the East Coast, one June 22nd and 23rd option for you is the Vermont Renaissance Fair in Essex Junction, Vermont. Another is the Wheaton Arts Fantasy Fair in Millville, New Jersey. For a fun-filled weekend of Renaissance-themed merriment, June 28th through 30th, we make our way to the Mystic Realms Fantasy Fair in Pocatello, Idaho. Itching to travel overseas again? If so, pack your bags that same weekend of June 29th and 30th and head to the Colchester Medieval Fair in Colchester, Essex, England. Or, if you desire to remain stateside that last weekend of June, you can journey to Ye Merry Greenwood at Glastonbury in Toledo, Oregon. We close out this installment of Coffee Talk with King Francois I as we travel back in time to the created fantasy world of the Midsummer Fantasy Renaissance Fair. Located in Ansonia, Connecticut, this festival opens June 29th and goes through July 14th. In the event I missed a Renaissance festival or two, please reach out to me through my website, which I do provide at the close of the episode. And you can also find that information in the show notes. That wraps up this installment of Coffee Talk with King Francois I. I do hope you enjoyed this informative episode. To find out more about the festivals mentioned, check out their links in the show notes. Be on the lookout for the next installment of Coffee Talk with King Francois I. If you are a performer, artisan, merchant, staff, or diehard patron in or of the Renaissance Festival world and would like to be featured on Coffee Talk with King Francois I, reach out to me by way of clicking on the following link provided in the show notes: www.theodorejander.com/Coffee Talk Podcast. Would you like to receive early access to each new episode, as well as receive a behind-the-scenes glimpse into the production and creative process for the podcast? If so, join the wonderful community of listeners supporting the show and making new things possible through Patreon. Learn more at www.patreon.com/Coffee Talk with King Francois. Thank you all so very much for tuning in to Coffee Talk with King Francois I. Until next time, a bientôt, see you soon, ciao for now, and au revoir.